All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about the Q&A that Amazon Gaming Studios did today. Now, I thought it was really good overall. I wanted to highlight some of the bigger questions. I want to provide my opinion and some feedback. I'll also provide a link in the description for you guys if you guys want to check out the video yourself. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Question number one, why is there less content in Season 4 than what was shown? If you guys go and you look at the roadmap basically stated we were going to get cross-server expeditions. I think we were all supposed to get cross-server arenas, a few other things, and those things did not come to fruition. This is a question that I had as well. I was very curious as to why this wasn't the case, and they basically came out and said that they had some mishaps when they were releasing their big DLC that they just came out with, Core Season 3, and because of that, they had to push things back. They want to have quality releases, and because of that, quality content releases, and because of that, they want to make sure that they have good content going forward. I think we all know what's happened in the past and how that was received by the community, and so I think this is a good thing. I mean, I am not a gaming developer, but like anybody else, I have made projects in the past, and I understand that sometimes your timetable gets pushed back. And so hopefully it's available for Season 5. But yeah, I'm glad they answered this. It would have been easy for them to duck and avoid. Question 2, what reasons are there to play after the endgame grind? So somebody basically provided their opinion that they grind to endgame gear, and now that they have endgame gear, what is there to do anymore? Amazon Gaming Studios basically came out and they said that they wanted to cater to the larger player base. They felt that the game was too grindy. The player base was saying it was too grindy to get to endgame. This allows for more build diversity to allow you to try out different builds. And they also brought up arenas and OPRs as being different types of fights that you can experience. It's different type of content all of the time. And yeah, with this, I couldn't agree more. Coming from a player that started last year in October or November of 2022, I could only run one or two builds. I was new to the game. I could only, to get to end game, I could only get one or two builds going before a big meta shift would happen, and then I have to grind. If I wanted to get the next end game gear that came out during the seasons and stuff, I'd have to do it all over again. And it was just a lot harder to acquire gear. And I like this because I just think it makes it better. I think it makes it better for players to get to closer to end game gear, to actually do the stuff that they want to do. Whether you want to do expeditions, whether you want to do the trial that exists, whether you want to do wars, arenas, PvP, like OPRs, whatever. Like, it allows you to try different things. Like, maybe just because you enjoy spear rapier like I do, maybe you want to try something else. Like I know in the future I do want to try an abyss build. I do want to try a musket build. I know I want to try out the new boltcaster, and this gear progression allows people to get the stuff they want faster, to test out new things and try out and experience the combat even more, which I think is nothing but a good thing. I think New World's combat is fantastic, and allowing people to test and try different things as it pertains to their content is good. Now, with that being said, they do need to continue to work on their endgame content. In my opinion, more OPR maps would be great. More arena maps would be great. More, endgame trials would be great for that community. I think that's just stuff that they have to keep working on. So, yeah, I like the answer here. Question 3. There was a question about shirking heals. For those of you guys that don't know, and you've been living under a rock, shirking heals was extremely powerful when it first came out. They adjusted it once to cut the healing value in half, and then like a week later, after cutting the value in half, they increased the duration by 5 seconds. And so it started off as like roughly a 5 to 6k heal over every 5 seconds when you dodge, and then it became a 3k heal every 5 seconds, and then it was like a 3k heal every 10 seconds. That's where it currently is at. They basically said that they did over nerf this. They feel like they missed the mark a little bit on this. They shot over, and they said that they will be making an adjustment, dialing shirking heals back, which means it'll be getting a small buff. I'm assuming it'll probably be in around the 7-second cooldown window for shirking heals. But yeah, the developers basically said that, hey, sometimes when you're trying to dial stuff in, you're going to overbuff, overnerf. And once you were overbuffed and then you overnerf something, it's somewhere in the middle, and you can find that holy parity, I guess. No, that's not what they said. That's what I said. But I do think this is the right way to go about doing things, coming from a player that played an MMO where they wouldn't make changes for 3, 6, 9 months, sometimes a year, and you had to deal with really broken sets, really broken mechanics for a very long time, and hoped that they would listen to it and make an adjustment during the next patch notes. It's nice seeing changes happen every other week. I really like seeing it. It makes it less problematic. I think it makes it less annoying to deal with in PvP. It makes you wanting to come back to play the game more. So even though maybe you're playing a current patch where there's some broken mechanic like stopwatch, there's some silly stopwatch CC builds which is killing people off a cooldown. That's annoying to deal with. It was only annoying to deal with for a couple weeks, and then it was done. And so I think that's a good thing. I think that's good that they recognize that stuff right away. They make adjustments right away, and they don't let it simmer and, let the community get more and more angry about it. Question 4, magnifying changes. They were asked about magnifying changes. Are there any future magnify adjustments? They said none. They like the way they are. They like how it's easy to get into decent gear for beginning players. It is a little messy to do depending on how you allocate your attributes and everything, but yeah, they have no plans in mind to change these things. And personally, I think that's too bad. I would like these magnify attributes to just be free attributes, and once you lock them in, you lock them in. Makes it easier for everybody, new players, endgame players, whatever. If you want to put a cap on the overall amount of magnify people have, fine, if that's the goal that you're trying to have with it. But yeah, it gets really messy when you're trying to lock in specific attribute points and things are just shifting all over the place. And yeah, it is what it is, but you just kind of have to live with it. So instead of running perfect attributes, I mix and match certain things, and I make do with what I have for a setup that I have, and that's the price you have to pay for getting decent gear for cheap. So yeah, hopefully in the future they changed their mind on this, in my opinion. Question number 5, wars. They were asked about wars and how one company can dominate an entire map. And basically they asked if there's anything in place to curb this. And I am not a war enjoyer, but they said that they have plans in the future. They're looking at this to make sure companies can't control a vast majority of the map by themselves. They also said that their goal is to have overlapping wars to make it more difficult for companies to do these things in the next patch. And so I thought that was interesting. Obviously, I want your guys' opinion. I can't really provide my opinion on this since I don't participate in wars, but yeah, I thought that was going to be an interesting change. Question, what are we at here? Question 6, gatekeeping. They were wondering if gear was supposed to be gatekept, and drops for OPR aren't very good. You can't upgrade the named item sets. Is there a plan for this to change? As we said before, it was covered in the Season 4 patch notes that all the named gear will be redropped, and everything that you get, you will be able to upgrade to 700 next patch, which I think is fantastic. You'll be able to do those things. On top of that, I was able to upgrade to 701 now. But yeah, the OPR loot drops will be better, which I think is good. I think I haven't seen a single item drop through the OPR loot table that I think is any good. I look at it and I'm just like, okay, well, what's the point? Thank God I got a gold piece so I can deconstruct for dark matter. And so hopefully those get better. Hopefully those loot tables get better so that people that do enjoy arenas and do enjoy OPRs, they can gear in that way. And I guess that's the goal, which I hope to see it turn out that way. And then finally, question number 7, why don't we get more info about balance changes? And their point of view was, hey, we got 2 shows. We have this YouTube video that I am now covering. I'm covering their questions and answers. They also have a Balance of Power show where they discuss like in depth about things that they go through. And I think this is once again a breath of fresh air. I think this is awesome. Whether you agree or disagree with the balance changes, whether you agree or disagree with the direction that they're going, they're out there explaining why they're making these changes. And I love the transparency. Like I said, I don't agree with the Magnify changes personally, but I understand. I understand why they're doing it, and as an example, and yeah, they're standing by and they're providing feedback and they're listening to feedback from the community and answering these questions. And so I think it's awesome. Like I said, not every game is this open with answering questions from the community and them being able to go out there and say, like, hey, we're noticing that some weapons have a much higher win rate in arenas, OPRs, whatever, and then they're able to justify their reasoning for adjustments. Whether you agree or disagree, at least you understand where they're coming from. And I think that makes it a lot easier of a pill to swallow than, playing and enjoying a game. You're enjoying a specific setup, and all of a sudden your setup is adjusted and nothing is said. And so, yeah, that was it for all the interesting questions. There's obviously more. You guys can check it out. Like I said, I'll provide a link in the description, but I'm going to end this video here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Come on. Heal up.
E-Man, how many is in there? quite a bit. I got 2 outside. Got that guy. I got 3 more on me.
No, the wolf man.
Oh shit, Hounds, I didn't realize you were right behind me.
That's so dumb. Have you ever had the wolf like jump and then your screen freezes for like a split second?
Not yet.